Yo, Smelly Randy here. 2019 was a pretty great year, so I wanted to make a quick video to recap the trips that I took and what's coming in 2020. Let's go! All right, so the past year has been very good to me. This was the first year of vlogging for the entire year, vlogging all of my trips. And so 2019 was the year that I found out that I travel way faster than I video edit. So I know the uploads to my channel haven't been nearly as frequent as I would have hoped. But yeah, I was at the beginning of the year, I was trying to edit as I was taking these trips, which is good because it's the winter and they're a little bit more infrequent. And then the summer came and I just had so many trips planned and I would be gone, 3 weekends out of the month, and I just got backlogged real quick. So I at least wanted to make a quick video, tell you about all the trips that I took, show you a little bit of footage and photos. That way you know what's coming up on the channel. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm going to be looking down quite a bit as I look at my notes for where I was every month. So January I took a birthday trip for myself solo to Yosemite National Park. I wanted to go backpack up Glacier Point again. The first time I did it, I brought my own skis out there and skinned up, but my boots were ill-fitting and I had feet that were covered in blisters. It was extremely painful, but an amazing place to camp up there on Glacier Point. So this trip, I rented cross-country skis and boots and skied up still. I still dealt with some blister issues, but nothing crazy. And I also got caught in a blizzard up there that dumped over a foot of snow. So that was super interesting. That video's up on the channel already, so you can check that out. In February, we flew to Ohio to go to Hocking Hills State Park. That video is also up. We got an invite from a friend of a friend who owns some cabins down there to go take some video and photos. Shout out to Crockett's Run in Hocking Hills, Ohio. So check them out. That video is up. In March, I drove up to the Tetons. I had the Icon Ski Pass, which includes resorts all over the country, but Jackson Hole is included on there. I wanted to go ski Jackson again. If you've never skied it, steepest mountain I've ever skied. It's amazing, unbelievable mountain. So I wanted to go do that, and I also wanted to do some winter backpacking in the Tetons, or actually not in the park, but right next to the Tetons in Bridger Teton National Forest. So I did that. That video is up. Also in March, Carrie and I drove out to Aspen area and stayed at Avalanche Ranch in like a covered wagon, and they've got hot springs there. That was super cool. We also snowshoed a little bit around Maroon Bells, where there was just insane avalanche damage and debris. So that was awesome. In April, Carrie and I took a road trip down to Arizona. We started in Arizona with Horseshoe Bend and Lower Antelope Canyon. Worked our way north into Monument Valley. We stopped by Navajo National Monument, then went to Monument Valley, camped there, which I had always wanted to do. Did some horseback riding, which was really cool, and then continued north up into Moab and did Arches National Park. There's a highlight video of that trip. That's up on the channel. In May, I had a good buddy from high school fly out. He had never been to Colorado, and it was May, so there was snow everywhere. So instead of doing a normal backpacking trip, I actually booked a hut up on Vail Pass, so we did a hut trip. I skied up, he snowshoed up, and then we did some car camping right below Mount Elbert at, I think, Twin Lakes. I actually haven't done that video yet, but I'm going to be doing that soon, I think. In June, made a quick trip to New Orleans for a wedding, then went to Cleveland for a wedding where it rained the entire weekend, but that's also where I had an extra day, so I spent it in Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Rained the entire time, but it was great because I had some time to see more of the park. So I think we did something like 4 or 5 short hikes just in that day while it was pouring, and that video is up. In late June, we also flew to Washington. I met up with a couple buddies out there. We backpacked in the Mount Baker area, backpacked up to Park Butte, and then from there we drove north to the northern part of Mount Baker up by Artist Point, camped there and explored that area, then drove back and took a ferry to San Juan Island in hopes of kayaking with orcas. And then from there, we drove out to Leavenworth, Washington, where the Enchantments Wilderness area is, and we actually day hiked the entire Enchantments route. So I've actually split that up into 2 parts as far as videos go. The first part you might have seen has already been posted, and the second part, which will just be the Enchantments day hike, I'm working on that right now and hoping to finish that this weekend. So that was June, which means that everything for the second half of the year I haven't even gotten to videos of yet. I haven't even reviewed footage. So everything from here on out are videos that will be coming. So in July, beginning of July, I flew back to Cleveland for the 3rd time that year. The MLB All-Star Game was in Cleveland. I'm a huge baseball nut, Cleveland everything fan. All-Star Game, or All-Star Weekend, is really the only thing baseball related that I haven't done yet, so I wasn't about to miss that. Went to the Home Run Derby. That was incredible. All-Star Game was great. In late July, Carrie and I took a 10-day trip to Italy. Flew into Venice, then rented a car and drove up into the Dolomites for a couple days. I proposed to Carrie in the Dolomites, and so yeah, we got engaged in Italy, which was great. From the Dolomites, we then went to Florence, took a train to Cinque Terre, hiked a lot of the coastal trail between the 5 towns in Cinque Terre. That was great. After Cinque Terre, took the train down to Rome, did Rome, and then did a day trip to Pompeii and Naples. So yeah, we saw a lot in Italy. That was really my first adult trip abroad. I had been to France and London when I was like 17 or 18. I couldn't have cared less about it, didn't appreciate it at all. So this was great. Thank you, Carrie, for pushing me to leave the country and getting my passport renewed, because that was just trip of a lifetime. That was great. Can't wait to go back to Italy at some point. And yeah, that'll be the next video that I work on. I actually did not of the whole trip, but I'm going to do a video of the Dolomites and then another video of Cinque Terre, since we did some hiking there. All right, August, Carrie and I went to Rocky Mountain National Park to do a long, I think 16-mile hike, hitting up a bunch of lakes on the east side, starting at Bear Lake. That was cool until we were caught in a couple different storms, hail, lightning, thunder, and actually hiking back down, actually came across a guy who was just struck by lightning, which was just the scariest thing. after posting about it on Facebook, one of his friends saw my post, gave me some updates that he had been in surgery. Um, he did survive, so thank God for that, because that was just, it was terrifying. But he was actually sitting up when we passed him and speaking a little bit. When we walked by him, he asked what day it was, and it was just a very jarring experience, because I've come very close to getting hit by lightning before up on Mount Evans, actually, where you can actually feel the electricity pulling the hairs up on your arms, and you can actually hear the electricity buzzing off of the rocks. And at that moment, I was pretty sure I was about to get struck by lightning. So that was terrifying, and now to see someone who had actually just been struck on the trail that we were hiking only like 5 minutes before, it was just, it was eye-opening, to say the least. So, what's his name? Minko? I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not, but Minko, shout out to Minko. He's still recovering. I'm looking at his feed, and he's still doing rehab. He's a mountain climber, so he's back in the climbing gym, just trying to get stronger. Man, what a lightning bolt can do to you is just incredible. It's scary, and thank God he survived. So later in August, actually did a trip that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which is down to the San Juan Mountains of Colorado, which is the southwest corner of the state. That was kind of our annual family backpacking trip between the guys. So like my dad, my uncle, my cousin flew out. My buddy Tom also flew out, and we took the Durango, the Silverton Durango old locomotive train up into the wilderness. It only makes one stop between Durango and Silverton, and that's just to let backpackers off into the wilderness. So that was amazing. You basically hop off the train, you hike in, I think 8 miles into Chicago Basin. And from Chicago Basin, there's like, I think three 14ers all right there. A lot of people will try and do all 3 14ers in one day, which I was considering doing, but just opted to hike up with everyone else and just do North Eolus. San Juans were incredible. That was a great backpacking trip. After that, I think the following weekend, I decided I wanted to do the Maroon Bells 4-pass loop for the first time. Like I said, I've never done that, and I decided I would. I've been wanting to try and day hike it, and the entire thing is like 30 miles. I think I clocked in at 29 miles actually on the dot. So that was the longest day hike I've ever done, but I can do it. 30 miles in a day. Now I can say I can do it if I need to do it. That was kind of one of my goals, was to just hike all day long, nonstop, and just see how far I can get. So Maroon Bells was amazing, super challenging. And then the following weekend, Carrie wanted to go backpacking, and I could barely move after doing that 4-pass loop. So we just did a quick weekend backpacking trip up toward James Peak. All right, so that was August. So yeah, August was a busy month. It's normally always my busiest month. September was another trip that I'd always wanted to do, up to the Wind River Range in Wyoming. This company, Outdoor Vitals, that you've probably noticed, I take pictures for them. They organized a team trip up to the Wind River Range, invited me along, so I was all about it. I wasn't going to miss that one. That range is really incredible. I really want to go back up and I was going to do a big loop hike, and then opted to just stay with those guys. Plus, I was really hurting I was still hurting from that Maroon Bells 4-pass loop, and I was really hurting the most on my hike back out of the Wind River Range. So I actually cut that trip a little bit shorter just because I was in pain. But but that range is amazing. Went fishing for the first time, caught my first fish, rainbow trout. No, wait, golden trout, that's what it was. So yeah, now I've got fishing gear. I kind of know how to fish a little bit. And actually, that's really cool because I'm glad those guys taught me how to fish because I bought the gear for it. And, you know, the stuff doesn't even weigh hardly anything. So you can take fishing gear out and only add like 1.5 pounds to your pack. So that's definitely a new hobby I hope to continue doing in 2020. In September, we made a quick trip also to Rifle Falls State Park, which is just north of Glenwood Springs, Colorado. October, my parents actually bought a trailer that you tow behind, and they actually did like a cross-country trip pretty much. So in October, we plan to meet them up in the Tetons and Yellowstone. Carrie and I are going to get married in the Tetons, so we wanted to go check out some potential locations and at the same time meet up with my parents in Yellowstone. While we were there, my dad also booked a helicopter tour over Yellowstone, which is something I always wanted to do. So just having that opportunity was amazing. I got some incredible aerial photos above Yellowstone, above Grand Prismatic Spring, Yellowstone Falls. My old man actually spotted a grizzly in Hayden Valley from the helicopter. I didn't get any good pictures of it because we couldn't get close enough, but that was just really, really awesome. Probably something I'll never get the opportunity to do again. So thank you for that, Pops. Oh, and also, in October when we went, which I think was later October, it was already way past peak foliage in Colorado in the mountains here. So I wasn't really expecting much for color up in the Tetons, but it was actually, we actually had really great color. I got some great fall foliage shots from the Tetons. So that was a nice surprise. Also in October, I went to Saratoga Springs, New York for a wedding. And then in November, we drove down to St. George, Utah for Thanksgiving. All of our parents met up down there, which was great. We did Thanksgiving Day in Snow Canyon State Park. I had been there once before, just briefly, basically just drove through. So my old man and I went into Snow Canyon. It was actually snowing there in the desert in Utah, which was awesome to see. I think we did like 3, maybe 4 shorter hikes, so we got to explore Snow Canyon quite a bit more, which was awesome. And then the following day on Black Friday, we went into Zion and hiked Angel's Landing, or we hiked basically up to the lookout at Angel's Landing. There was so much snow on the ground. It was insane. I was so psyched to be in Zion with that much snow on the ground because I just feel like it's something not many people get to see. So with that much snow on the ground, and you'll see in the pictures here, there was no way we were going to even try and go up all the way to the top of Angel's Landing. But we went up to the lookout, which was great. And then the following day, basically the entire family, we took into Zion and just did a bunch of shorter hikes. And had like a bluebird day in Zion with just snow everywhere. It was just absolutely gorgeous. So that was really cool. And then December, I didn't do anything. In December, basically after Thanksgiving, all I did every weekend was stay home and edit videos. You see, I just posted the first part of the Washington trip. I'm hoping to finish the Enchantments video this weekend and then move on to Italy, and then all those other trips that I just mentioned I have footage from and I gotta work on. So and before I forget, get this, back in July I got a message from a kid on Instagram, and here, I'll read you his message. It says, "Hi, we have seen a video about you in our English lesson in school. You're famous in our class." And while looking at the video, I had fun because it was very exciting. And then I start replying like, oh, you're learning English, like, where are you from? And apparently it's his class in Germany. They've been watching my videos in class to help them learn English and the national parks. And then they sent me a video. Here, watch this. This is incredible.
Smelly Randy. Yeah, hey, Smelly Randy. How I told you, do you have some big fans from Germany? And we are watching your videos in class. Especially we like the video 7 national parks in 82 hours. And in our opinion, the Grand Canyon National Park is the best national park in your video. And yes, we would be very happy if you would answer us. And it's your turn. Goodbye, Smelly Randy.
Yeah, how cool is that? That was, aside from getting engaged, like, that was the coolest thing to happen this year. So I've been long overdue shouting them out to anyone in that class watching in Germany. Hello, I'm so excited that you're enjoying the videos. I hope they inspire you to get outside and keep exploring. There's so many amazing places to see in this world. I hope you're learning a lot about the national parks in our country, and I hope you go out and explore the national parks in Germany and elsewhere as well. So thank you again for watching. Phipps26, that's who messaged me on Instagram, so thank you for that, and I hope you guys keep watching and enjoy. So yeah, that was my 2019. As far as this year goes, 2020, the big thing that I'm hoping to do this year is my first through hike. Me and a couple buddies have been planning and talking about it. We're pretty much prepared to apply for permits when the time comes, and we want to through hike the John Muir Trail in the Sierra Nevada range, basically going up California. The northern point where most people start is in Yosemite, and the southern point where it ends is Mount Whitney, which is the tallest mountain in the lower 48. So yeah, that's the big plan. I've got all other trips basically on hold. I'm saving up PTO so I have enough to make this through hike in the fall. If we hike 15 miles a day, we should be able to finish in 14 days. So I think we're going to plan on taking 3 weeks off just to make sure, in case we have any 0 days where the weather is crap. Basically, the only trips that I have planned are over holiday weekends, so I don't have to use any PTO. So next weekend is MLK weekend. So we are going to Oregon. Driving down to Crater Lake National Park, which I've never been, always wanted to go. We're going to hit some waterfall hikes on the way there, then do Crater Lake. We're bringing our snowshoes, so we're going to snowshoe around the rim a little bit. And then after that, we're going to head to the coast and just drive north all the way up the coast to the border, basically to Astoria, and then back to Portland. So that's next weekend, and then aside from that, really the only other trip I have planned, actually I take that back, I got 2 more trips planned. Memorial Day weekend, we are flying to LA. The Indians play both the Dodgers and the Angels. Like I said, huge baseball nut. If you didn't know, I've been to every MLB ballpark, well, now all of them except for the new Atlanta one, and I've seen the Indians play in I think 20 different ballparks now. So I've never seen them play in either of those 2 LA stadiums, even though I've been to both already. So anyway, we are flying to LA. We're actually going to plan on doing 1 night in Joshua Tree, which I had never been to. So already that's 2 new national parks I got planned. So that's good. And then the other trip I have planned is just to Asheville, North Carolina for a bachelor party, but I'm going to spend the first day in the Great Smokies, another park I haven't been in. So yeah, that's later in the year, but that's all I have planned so far. As far as this channel is concerned, and what's to come, right now, really I'm just trying to be better in Adobe Premiere so I can edit more efficiently and get these videos out to you sooner than later, because as you can tell, I'm already backlogged like 6 months. I think I have like 8 videos, maybe more, that I need to do. I'd like to try, I keep talking about and trying to plan out ways to do like a weekly video where maybe I just sit here and talk for 15-20 minutes about whatever's going on. I think what I'd like to do is maybe right after I get back from a trip, I do a video where I just talk about how the trip went, what our itinerary was, what hikes we did, and then show you some of the photos, because the photos I get edited like as soon as I get back. Like the next day I've gone through photos and edited. So I think that might be something that I start doing. I don't know. Video editing is tough. It's a lot of footage to go through. It takes a long time, very time consuming. You might notice that I stopped using music because it's really just a pain to even find free music that you like. And then you're worried about whether your video is going to get flagged for copyright or whatever else. So I'm trying to keep it more simple. I think I might also start doing like some shorter highlight videos of hikes that I do on trips, where it's just no dialogue. It's just video of the trail, just so people get a good idea of what it looks like on these trails in a shorter period of time. I don't know. I'm toying around with a lot of different ideas. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do, but I got a decent amount of ideas. So, and I have no shortage of footage to go through and edit. So, for the 400 or 500 of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. I know I only have like 13 videos up right now, but there's a lot more on the way, a lot more to come, and I thank you. I'm sure probably 80% of you, 90% are family and friends. Regardless, thank you for watching. I'm glad you find some sort of entertainment or value out of it, but a lot more videos to come. So until then, have a great year, everyone, and I'll see you soon.